I don't do promos worth a damn.
We know that one by heart.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
library's got it all for you.
You ask me what I like about Texas, I tell you it's a wide open space. It's everything between the Sabine and the Rio Grande. It's the Llano Estacado, it's the Brazos and the Colorado. It's the spirit of the people who share this land. It's another burrito, it's a cold Lone Star in my hand. It's a quarter for the jukebox boys, play the sons of the mother-loving bunkhouse band. You ask me what I like about Texas, it's the big timber around Nacogdoches, driving El Camino Real down to San Antone. It's the river walking me tierras, jamming out with Bongo Joe, the stories of the Menger Hotel and the Alamo. You remember the Alamo. It's another burrito, it's a cold Lone Star in my hand. It's a quarter for the jukebox boss, play the sons of the mother-loving bunkhouse band. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You ask me what I like about Texas, it's blue bonnets and Indian paintbrushes, swimming in the sacred waters of Barton Springs. It's body surfing the thrill, it's Saturday night in Del Rio, crossing over the border for a little cultural exchange. It's another burrito, it's a cold Lone Star in my hand. It's a quarter for the jukebox boys, play the sons of the mother-loving bunkhouse band. You ask me what I like about Texas. Hello, I'm Gary P. Nunn. That's a song I wrote called What I Like About Texas, a song that pretty well sums up how I feel about this state I call home. Something else I like about Texas is Clyde Buchanan. Clyde was a songwriter who, a decade ago, left Tennessee and settled his family in music-rich Austin. And in the decades since, Clyde has left his mark on our music community. His music filled the clubs and honky-tonks of the country. I was proud to call Clyde Buchanan my friend. Indeed, when cancer claimed Clyde earlier this year, the entire music community lost a good friend. But music people don't sit around and grieve and brood about the loss of a friend. We get together and share music. So on the 20th of May, 1984, on what would have been Clyde's 53rd birthday, some of Austin's finest musicians gathered to pay tribute and to settle the man they call friend. Folks like
Gargoyles
Tim Henderson and Alan Dameron,
around my bed, snakes and demons slither around my bed.
Mark Luke Daniels,
It's a portrait of me and you. Got me standing at the station waiting on a midnight train.
the Jubal Clark Band,
In my head.
Riding these wide rails right out of my mind.
Ricky Cardwell,
And dent, but I don't care. Ooh, but I don't care.
Jimmy Gilmore and Butch Hancock.
So don't give me no maybe, baby, 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 mine. Oh, baby, mine, baby, 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 mine.
The town's Van Zandt.
Joe was a bandit boss. His horse was fast as polished steel. Wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel.
Clyde's brothers, Ben and Buck Buchanan, joined with Frank Funn, Steve Mendel, and Rebecca Stone.
Texas sky with the sun riding high burns all the troubles from my mind. Drifting with the wind, forgetting where I've been, looking for a refuge that I'll never find.
The Larks.
Painted masterpieces are so fine. Bring the time around when the love of the artist can be found. You know, they're old friends.
Ray Wylie Hubbard, featuring Bugs Henderson and Mandy Mercier.
Waka 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 everybody baba to the rockabilly.
And I was joined by the Sons of the Bunkhouse Band.
Driving with your lover in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of those big live oak trees. Sweet soul music brings you to your knees. But the nights, they never get lonely. Let's go now.
This wasn't a paying gig. We all played for free. Rather, this was a get-together to share memories and to share our music. And Clyde's. The music started at noon Sunday and ran till way past midnight Monday morning. I don't think anyone left. Some band members canceled paying gigs and traveled hundreds of miles to be there. Everyone was in good form. But Clyde had a tendency to bring that out in people. During the next 2 hours, you will have an opportunity to meet Clyde Buchanan through the words and music of Clyde and some of those who knew him. But enough said. Clyde always let the music do the talking, and so should we.
It's another burrito. Oh, yeah. And I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I got up early this morning, I'm staying up late tonight. I'm gonna climb up the pole, I'm gonna hook up my HBO. I'm gonna climb up the pole, I'm gonna hook up my HBO. When we get connected, boy, they're gonna see us show. That's right. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I got up early this morning, I'm staying up late tonight. Okay, Paul, let's ride. Shovel, gonna shovel out to New Mexico. Yeah, I'm gonna get my pick and shovel, gonna shovel out to New Mexico. Gonna pick a place to settle, gonna dig it like old rock and roll. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I got up early this morning, I'm staying up late tonight. Herb Steiner. sharp. Don't let no honky-tonk Gucci mama come along and break my heart. Yeah, I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I was born yesterday, but I was up late last night. I got up early this morning and I'm staying up late tonight. Yeah, I got up early this morning and I'm staying up late tonight. Well, when you're down on your luck and you ain't got a buck, London, you're a goner. Even London Bridge has fallen down and moved to Arizona. Now I know why. And I'll substantiate the rumor that the English sense of humor is drier than the Texas sand. You can put up your dukes or you can bet your boots I'm leaving just as fast as I can. I wanna go home with the armadillos. Good country music from Amarillo, and I believe the friendliest people and the prettiest women you've ever seen. Well, it's cold over here, and I swear I wish they would turn the heat on. Where in the world is that English girl I promised that I would meet on the 3rd floor? And of the whole damn lot, the only friend I've got is a smoke and a cheap guitar. And my mind keeps roaming, my heart keeps longing to be home in a Texas bar. Like the loach, I wanna go home with the armadillo. Good country music from Amarillo, and I believe the friendliest people and the prettiest women you've ever seen. It's cold over here, and I swear I wish they would turn the heat on. Where in the world is that English girl? I said that. I promised that I would meet on the 3rd floor. And them limey eyes, they were eyeing the prize some people call manly footwear. They said you're from down south, and when you open your mouth, you always seem to put your foot there. I wanna go home with the armadillo. I should. Good country music from Amarillo, and I believe the friendliest people and the prettiest women you've ever seen. I wanna go home with the armadillo. Good country music from Amarillo, and I believe the friendliest people and the prettiest women you've ever seen. Oh, thank you very much.
How well did I know Clyde Buchanan?
Well,
I'll tell you. Clyde Buchanan, I never met him until about 7, 8 years ago. And one time we was having a thrust and shuffle down in the bamboo thicket behind Gary P. Nunn's house. This was back before Gary P. Nunn got famous and everything.
Yeah.
And he had this big bamboo thicket down behind his house. And we chopped it out, you know, and got it all cleared out down in there and lashed a bunch of it together and made a makeshift stage, and we had some amplifiers. And let me see, there was Alan Wayne Dameron and Mike Williams and me and Gary P. the Nunn and just a select few Austin pickers who would go down there occasionally and hide up in the bamboo and get drunk and play with whatever musical instruments happened to be at hand for any lovely ladies who happened to be passing by. And of course, there was a whole lot of money in it. I think I made 35 cents one night.
Wow,
And,
big bucks.
Big bucks. And Clyde Buchanan came down there, and I remember this one particular night, it was too cold to get out in the bamboo grove. So we were all sitting in Gary P. Nunn's house, which is a little rock house, sits across from the DPS down there, which is convenient, they say. So we sat out in front of the fireplace there, and Clyde Buchanan came in. I'd never seen him before in my life, and he sat down and he played a few songs. Now, being a good songwriter, I have an ear for who is a good songwriter. And Clyde...
Not in the least bit biased, of course.
Oh, no, he wasn't a bit biased.
I meant you.
Oh, me? Yeah, well, I have a tendency to be biased, but I sat and I listened to a bunch of his songs. Now, Clyde was like an uncut precious gem. He would take a pure piece of emotion and set it down in absolutely raw poetry, so that his songs didn't scan. You couldn't go ta 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 ta, but it didn't matter. They were just monstrous good. And I listened through the evening, and I asked him. I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Clyde." I said, "Clyde?" He said, "Clyde." I said, "What's your last name?" He said, "Buchanan." I said, "I knew you were a Buchanan." He said, "How'd you know I was a Buchanan?" I said, "Well, see, my great aunt Agatha was a Buchanan on her sister's side, you know, and this kind of crap." There's a town called Buchanan, West Virginia. West Virginians don't say Buchanan. We say Buchanan. And he was a Buchanan. All those boys ran to poetry, long legs, beards, and profligacy. They was good moonshiners, but they were poets, mountain pickers. And he was related to all the Buchanans I knew in West Virginia. He wrote a bunch of songs, and he was so much in love with Austin that you're just not going to find anybody who is a more typical Austin picker. Your typical Austin picker was born someplace like Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he comes moving into Austin, and he stays there because of the free swinging lifestyle, man, you know. And hey, you know, it's close enough to the border to slip over and score a little dope, man, and stuff like that. So many songwriters and pickers come to Austin to be discovered. Oh, now that's kind of dumb. I got to tell you that nobody's going to get discovered in Austin, because everybody who has made it is living in Austin voluntarily. There's no place to play, there's no big nightclubs, there's no big money, there's no music industry people coming in to see, hey man, let's see if we can scarf us up a new fresh chippy, you know, and rob him. Well, that happens in Nashville, but it doesn't happen in Austin because you can't be discovered in Austin. But
You think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because it keeps the Austin sound a rather hopeless, forlorn, bluesy sound, you know, a lot. Well, Clyde didn't have that. Clyde glorified, he reveled in the spirit of creativity that the city of Austin has there. And he wasn't looking to be anybody's big songwriter. He didn't want to be a Mickey Newberry or a Chris Christopherson. And so he would play his songs. I remember one time driving way to heck and gone outside Austin, clear over down Highway 290, past Manor, going down toward Giddings, and sitting with him in a place that I swear to God, on my worst day, I wouldn't have gone in there and ordered a hamburger, you know. But just because he'd managed to get a pickers session going there, and he wanted Gary P. and me and a few other people who were at least halfway known to come and he figured that would draw other pickers, and it did. So he got him a good picking night going. And he used to find some of the weirdest little places in Austin, you know. And he'd go in and talk it up. He'd say, I've got a lot of good friends. And he's talking about Rebecca Stone and Jubal Clark and people, me. We'll come in here and we'll really turn this place around. And usually, you know, nobody had enough business sense to let the place be turned around. But for maybe 6 months, Austin pickers would have a place to go and listen to each other. And songwriting and painting and sculpture breed songwriting and painting and sculpture. Just like in the 1920s, the best painters in the world were in France. The best writers in the world were in France. They weren't French. Ernest Hemingway sure as hell wasn't French. I think he felt about the French about the same way I do, which is give them back their damn Statue of Liberty. I don't like them people no more. But what I was getting at is that where somebody is good at something and is doing it, everybody gets together. Well, that's the way Austin is, and God willing, that's the way it's going to stay. And it's people like Clyde that have kept the whole spirit going. The only thing nice about Austin as far as business goes is that people like Gary P. and Jerry Jeff Walker and Alan Dameron, people like that live in Austin, so that you can catch them when their guard's down, you know. Run up, knock on the door, and they come to the door. I'll give you an idea. People, the big people, play in Austin for $20 a night, or just enough to keep the band paid while we're all home on vacation, see? And I remember there was this little restaurant, a big restaurant, out on 2222. There was a fella out there named Alan Dameron was playing, and I hadn't ever sold a song to anybody, you know. Oh, I knew I was good. I knew I was good. This is 6, 7 years ago. Wow, boy, did I know I was good then. And I remember I was just too proud to display my songs to anybody because I was afraid they might not think I was as good as I thought I was. My wife talked me into going seeing this fella and had a pretty good reputation, and I listened to him, and sure enough, he was good. He's just flat professional grade. And so I walked up and offered to buy him a drink. And he came over and sat at the table, and would, you know, that's the kind of thing. I wound up selling him over the course of the years maybe 25, 30 songs. That can happen in Austin because the good people do love Austin, and they come there and they stay there. I don't blame them. I mean, it's not like South Waco where you're taking up funds to sell arms and medical supplies and such to the rebellion in South Waco. I mean, Austin's a real tranquil city, and Clyde loved it. Clyde, he lived out on what they call Walnut Creek, and he was one of a long string of people to live out in there. It's not too expensive to have a house out around Walnut Creek, and it's shady and it's cool. And to give you an idea of how much people like to live on Walnut Creek, if you take a backhoe down on the banks of Walnut Creek, you can go down 18 feet in the dirt and not run out of Indian litter. I mean, old used arrowheads and turtle bones and shells, and, just camp litter. Runs down 18 feet. People have lived there on that river. Oh, I guess, not a river, really. It's one of the bigger creeks. They've lived there for 15,000 years. Clyde was just another one. Came and parked himself.
It's hard to figure what to say about Clyde Buchanan. You know what? He's a dang fine writer. We've lost a heap of them this year. Writers and instrument makers. But you see, Clyde Buchanan is like Hondo Crouch. He ain't dead. He just jumped up in the air and forgot to come back down. And he had a heck of a sense of humor, and he's just a doggone good writer. And one of the songs he depreciated a lot was this song, which I call the Hymn to Fat Girls. They're the crown of creation and a thinking man's bride. They ain't much for tall, but they're pure hell for wide. Why, loving a fat girl's like loving the moon, or being old Captain Ahab with a sawed-off harpoon. Now there's fat girls and fat girls, but the ones I like best, they rear up on tiptoe and they can't reach your chest. They're God's gift to man, sent from heaven above. And they never need pillows to help them make love. Here's to wigglin' and gigglin' and twinklin' blue eyes, pneumatic bodies and pillowy thighs, no high fashion types with that spray in their hair. They're all big feet and elbows, nothing to spare. Now you just go and check the art history books. Old Titian and Rubens, they knew how girls should look. Why, the whole world's gone skinny and it's just a big mess. I say down with the girdle, and I'll do the rest. Oh, they're dumpy and comfy, and Lord, they are cute. And they're good to a man and then grateful to boot. But one thing remember while you're having fun. When a fat girl looks pregnant, it's too late to run. So you roll to the altar with your Moby bride. She's a cloud of white satin near 50 yards wide. And you'll do a big favor for this skinny world if you lay back in comfort and raise more fat girls. The only trouble with a song like that is it can get you killed. I mean, there's some of these ladies that are about 6'4", that look like they might have played with the Green Bay Packers at one time or another, who just take that wrong. And I want to assure any of you out there that I love fat girls. I do. Man, I think that 38, 22, 38 is skinny. Skinny. Ain't nothing there for a man to really meditate on, if you know what I mean. I wasn't the only person Clyde Buchanan knew, and he wasn't the only person I knew. There is a thing called the Austin Interchangeable Band. Everybody knows everybody else's songs. One of the primary functionaries in the Austin Interchangeable Band is Steve Mendel, who has got maybe the sweetest string bass going. Oh, he's played for lots of really well-known, famous people like Stephen Fromholtz and Flonnie Creech. Oh, I tell you. And there were other people who knew Clyde and knew his songs, and I kind of coerced a couple of them, they didn't know the gun wasn't loaded, to coming up and helping me sing one of Clyde's songs. There was A. Wayne Damron, the Raymondville Whippoorwill. Now, he's supposed to be lurking in the wings and come bounding through the stage curtain when I say, A. Wayne Damron, the Raymondville Whippoorwill. And then there was Jubal Clark. See, now Jubal Clark, he's lived about a bubble and a half off plum most of his life, you know. He's real slow. He's one of them old boys from up on the Okie reservations that could lose an argument with a cactus, you know. He was supposed to come through, you know, and charge right out there. And then there was, Shane and Roseanne. Shane Appling, mucho. Oh, he's a fine banjo player. And Roseanne, oh, she can sing. Lordy, beautiful girl. And they were all supposed to come bounding through the curtain. Well, I know why Shane and Roseanne didn't come bounding through the curtain. He's laying concrete down in Austin right now. Works for the Mafia, and they work on Sundays. I ain't sure why Alan Wayne Damron didn't come bounding through the curtain when I said, the Raymondville Whippoorwill. Oh, hey. Did you see Jubal Clark anywhere?
I was talking to him back there. I thought you were going to do some all en masse, and he'd come trooping on, kind of like the entourage.
Now, Jubal Clark is another one. Him and his friends, they hang around together all the time, and they stay sozzled. I think that Jubal was who Clyde was thinking about when he wrote this song. Jubal, are you back there too? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Hey, and Ted Cobb has the sweetest tenor voice. Oh, just, oh, real. Get on out here, everybody. This is a song. You think I ought to tune this guitar?
Good idea.
I've been standing here close?
Little E, little E.
Little E. You were right. You got a bass ear. Does that sound close? Oh. Clyde came up with a lot of weird images in his life. I got to tell you that. And maybe one of the weirdest was the title of this song, Gargoyles Fly, see? And as we was sitting listening to it day before yesterday, Shane Appling said to me, he said, where do you think he came up with that image? I said, the hard way. One. Gargoyles fly around my room. Snakes and demons slither around my bed. I feel so bad, I'm afraid I might not die. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly.
In early times I went to sea on the good ship Cuddy Sark. Jack Daniels was the first mate, liked him from the start. Lord Calvert was the captain, and the boatswain was Jim Beam. That voyage went by smoothly as around the Bristol cream. Gargoyles fly around my room. Snakes and demons slither around my bed. And I feel so bad, afraid I might not die. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly.
First port of call was Seagram's, where the king wore 7 crowns. And a Russian guide named Smirnov introduced me to the town. Shipwrecked by old charter, sweet Lucy let me down. Dropped anchor down on Skid Row alongside J.T.S. Brown. Gargoyles fly around my bed. Snakes and demons slither around my bed. And I feel so bad, afraid I might not die. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly. With ancient age upon me, this nightlife weighs me down. And an old crow like a buzzard circling follows me around. Fork feathers just don't tickle me the way it used to do. But a bottle seems to fill my hand like the tired feet fill my shoes. Gargoyles fly around my room. Snakes and demons slither around my bed. And I feel so bad, afraid I might not die. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly. And gargoyles fly around my room. Snakes and demons slither around my bed. And I feel so bad, afraid I might not die. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly. Just have to lay here in my bed watching gargoyles fly.
I'm talking to Alan Dameron, and he just got finished playing a few of Clyde's songs. One of them was...
Well, one of them I did a duet with Tim Henderson. And Tim called, I just got back in off the road about 3 days ago. And Tim called me up and asked me if I'd do a duet with him on it. And the song was Gargoyles Fly, which...
Silly title.
Oh, no, not really, because Clyde had a great sense of humor, a great sense of insight when he'd write something. It's a song about DTs, is what it's about, delirium tremens. And it starts out in early times. I went off on the Cuddy Sark, and uses all the things. Finally, it's just down to Sweet Lucy wine and the worst
kind of booze when it's just right at the end of it and Gargoyles Fly.
Mm-hmm.
It's really kind of a funny song. In fact, it is a funny song, and it's got a very catchy chorus. But he just had that kind of insight. He could make something like that into a song that was funny and you enjoyed, but gave you pause. Said, on second thought, I don't think I'll have this 15th drink. You know? And that's one reason I appreciated his songwriting, was that he had that ability to do that.
Well, I've known Clyde a few years, and he's played on some of my gigs, and I've asked him to sit in with me, and then I've sat in on some of his, and then some of the things that he promoted, I've played.
So it's kind of that way in Austin, you just kind of back and forth, you know, if you want to play, then I'll play, and it's a real cooperative effort.
Yeah, Clyde, one heck of a songwriter. In fact, he has, I only do my own original songs, but Clyde's got one song that he really wanted me to do called Old Drinkers, and it was sometime before he died.
Here's a song I get a lot of requests for. Everybody except my immediate family. Most of them don't even know that I play music. It's my old favorite song called White Rails. Ride this old train straight through my brain, just a long-haired engineer, red-eyed and blind. Don't know where I'm bound, don't give a damn. Riding these white rails right out of my mind. One hand on that throttle, one hand on that bottle, chopping up that fuel so fine. Snorting and a choking, Lord, my brain is smoking. Riding these white rails right out of my mind. It was cold, things were rocky, my knees they got to knocky, so shoveling some snow along that line. Trying to cool that pain in my feverish old brain. Riding these white rails right out of my mind. Me and my friends high falling to the end, tangled together like a vine. Black Molly Val and Red doing a boogie in my head. Riding these white rails right out of my mind. Duck Doty. Train go. Toot 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 toot. Don't put the bound, don't give a damn. Right, we rock, one hand on that bottle, one hand on that bottle, chopping up that fuel so fine. Lord, damn, choking, Lord, my brain is smoking. Riding these white rails right out of my mind. Andre. Toot 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 toot. Well, I'll give you a tooter if you'll give me
I'm not sure, 8, 10 years perhaps.
Well, you've known him a long time then. You must have a kind of a long history with him then.
Well, I've lived around Austin a long time. I was there before this last, so-called music thing grew as it did.
So you've seen it from its to its start to its growth.
Right.
I think probably right along with Clyde and a few others that have been hanging in there with the Austin music scene.
Oh, yeah.
I knew him on and off for 4 or 5 years. Go to see him pick, that kind of thing. But actually, I knew him well the last 2 years before he died.
Did you play with him more then?
Yeah, we'd sit around and pick together, or he'd come to, I hang out in a bar called the Outhouse in Austin, and he'd come and sit down and pick for a while, and we'd go out to this place in Manor where he was a lot.
Kind of unorganized, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
That's the way Austin is, isn't it?
Yeah, ragged but real.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's probably the way Clyde probably was the most representative of Austin. He just...
Just do it. Just people come in. That's the whole purpose of it, for people to have fun listening and picking.
Being a songwriter, I sat down one night and I realized I didn't have a train song. Every songwriter has to have a train song. So I tried as quickly as I could to remedy that situation. A song called Midnight Train. Never met a woman, wasn't just my age. I never had a job, wasn't minimum wage. Never held a bottle, couldn't drink it dry. And I never met a man, couldn't look in the eye. Never had trouble like I had with you, 'cause I never knew exactly what I should do. And that's probably why the whole thing went up in smoke. No joke. Ooh, it's a portrait of me and you. Got me standing at the station waiting on a midnight train. Never seen nothing like a fast freight train. I never minded standing, cold driving rain. Never get scared when the going gets rough, and I'd never admit it, even if I was. Never ever meant to treat you so bad. I'll never regret all the times we had, but some things in life aren't meant to turn out right. Right. Ooh, it's a portrait of me and you. Got me standing at the station waiting on a midnight train. Train sounds like this. It's a portrait of me and you. Got me standing at the station waiting on a midnight train. I never travel nothing beats an old dirt road. I'll never take the time, let myself grow old. Never been one for settling down. I got a restless soul, tends to get me around. Never forget a woman like you. I wish you the best, everything that you do, 'cause I'm leaving now and I ain't never coming back on this track. Ooh, it's a portrait of me and you. Got me standing at the station waiting on a midnight train. Yeah, I'm standing at the station just waiting on a midnight train, and the damn thing's always late.
I think Clyde was probably ready to have the success, I suppose, that you'd say an Austin figure like Willie Nelson or as the bigger ones have.
Yeah, he was out there. He told me, he said this was his last chance and he knew it, so he was out there pushing tapes and trying to get people to listen to him.
Ready?
A few people are doing his songs on record right now, I hear, so it worked.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ed's Club in beautiful downtown Austin, East 6th Street. Where else? Thank you. My name is Clyde Buchanan, for those that don't know, and I'd like to do a few of my original songs for you. Starting out with this one. It's been a hell of a life, and I've learned my lessons well. I've got up and kept on trying each time I fell. Everybody has a story they'd like to tell, but it's my time now. Yes, it's my time now. Well, it's my time now. I just know somehow it took time to learn my trade. I was afraid I'd be too late, but it's my time now. Eat your heart out, Chet Atkins. I have waited so long for a chance to play my song. I hope some dreamer hears my words and keeps going on. I hope you find everything your heart desires, but it's my time now. Yes, it's my time now. Well, it's my time now. I just know somehow it took time to learn my trade. I was afraid I'd be too late, but it's my time now. Yes, it's my time now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask you about Clyde Buchanan real quick. How well did you know him?
I knew Clyde fairly well. I was thinking about it when you were talking to Butch about him. I remember the first time I met him. I was playing at a gig at the Waterloo when I first had moved back to Austin about 1980, and we were just setting up, you know, and kind of I was, you know, I didn't really know a lot of the people around town or anything. I'd been gone for a long time, and all of a sudden this guy came up to me and said, "Can I play your guitar?" And he was just so open about it, you know. It's like, and normally that kind of puts me off, but I said, "Sure." I let him. So in a minute, he just kind of took it over to the side. He was kind of, I don't know how to put it. It was like he was up front, but he wasn't pushy. You know, it was kind of part of the way Clyde was, you know. And in a little while, we were, you know, setting up chords and putting up microphones and everything, and I just heard this beautiful voice from over at the side, and for a minute I didn't associate it with the guy that had come over and got the guitar from me, and it was this beautiful voice and this real pretty tune happening and this real simple guitar strumming, and I thought it was a record. And I don't even remember what the song was. In fact, I don't know if I know even any of the names of Clyde's songs because I just heard him sing them. You know, he never said any.
This is the song. Yeah.
But it was a really, really beautiful song, and and we just we became friends then, and we didn't hang out together all the time or anything. It's just like when we crossed paths, it was always a good little thing, you know. And we used to sat around in some living rooms, you know, and played the guitar.
Clyde seemed to be that way. He just turned up with his guitar, or just turned up himself and started playing.
And he was, I really loved that guy just from the beginning. He was one of the people that, so, you know, just kept the really good vibe happening all the time among the musicians. That there was
kind of a calm but happy influence. He kept things just going right along because of his music. I know he had so many songs he wrote, and a lot of people just kind of picked up on him. And
yeah, and he definitely had his own style. It was
very distinctive. I know people say he makes his humor and with his songs and wisdom and almost everything, and with his songs and tells a whole big story, part of somebody's life.
And I didn't see Clyde very much like it in the last year. You know, that's one thing that I'm really regretful of, because he was somebody worth spending time with.
I guess the first time I really met him was probably out at Gary P's house under that old tree where we'd go out and sing every once in a while.
Public domain?
Yeah. And Clyde always had a big smile and half a dozen songs he would tell me about or sing to me, you know. If he could corral me and make me sit down long enough.
Do you ever play any of his music?
Played along with some of his songs, you know, with Gary and with him sometimes. But,
other than that, you didn't know him real well.
No, I guess other
You're
than
just
that,
around, just like everybody else, just around and played with anybody who was there, right?
Exactly.
Well, that's how Austin is. So.
Yeah, Lukenbach and Kerrville and, you know.
And every place else.
Yeah.
All the places the Austin musicians usually hit you, I guess you saw him there. Well, why
He's a hard one to miss. He was a good image of Austin and good songs and the whole works, you know.
Did you like his songs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite?
I like that one. There were a bunch of slow ones that he did that I really felt were real heartfelt things that he did that just really got to me. And I don't know which ones are which, but I particularly like those. I guess the one that I remember the most are that Gary P does, the Austin Pickers. It's kind of his big hit.
It is.
Give my soul to the Lord above. Now I got thoughts I just can't mention, but if you listen close, you're gonna hear enough. This old world spins like a minor miracle. Sun and the moon, they go around just for you. But deep inside, there's a finer circle. My friend, that's a wheel that must run true. You can drive all day, never leave Texas. You can drive all night long and never leave home. Everything's real, but not everything mixes. And there's some things even love leaves alone. Fork in the road where I seek my fortune. One road to life, one road to ruin. Well, I flipped my coin and I started marching. High on that mountain between the roads, a storm was brewing. Right beside the road sat an old gray Indian and her twin sister sitting on the other side. I asked them both for their opinion. Which road was the road which led to life? No one tells the truth, one always lies. One sound like an angel, one sound like a witch. But when they spoke, Lord, they spoke together, till this poor boy couldn't tell which one was which. Well, I got my soul set on a firm foundation, but I could barely tell the right from left. Now what's it gonna be, my true destination? A life of charity or a life of faith? This whole world spins like a minor miracle. Sun and the moon, they go around just for you. But deep inside, there's a finer circle. My friend, that's a wheel that must run true.
give one woman the shoes my feet were filling, and I gave the other money from my gunny sack. I gave one road my bells and my sombrero, and I gave the other road the shirt right off of my back. Well, I ran through the briars and I ran through the brambles, neither time nor pain was I counting. Up rocky ridges through rubble I rambled, forsaking two roads to climb one mountain. At the top of the world, the sky was clear. You could see forever, oh, far and wide. I saw two roads that split apart behind me, but Lord, they came together again on the other side. You can drive all day, never leave Texas. You can drive all night long and never leave home. Everything's real, but not everything mixes. And there's some things even love leaves alone. Oh, there's some things even love leaves alone. Yeah, there's some things even love leaves alone. Thank you. It's called Two Roads. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do one more tune, y'all. And hundreds of other good musicians here today. We're going to do this one. This song was inspired by my daughter, who is actually, in fact, all grown up. This song is called She's All Grown Up, but she still likes to rock and roll, even though we're folk musicians. These electric acoustic guitars. When she was a little girl, she used to like to sleep with the lights on. A twinkle in her eye about the little boy she had set her sights on. And her heart was in the music that she dreamed away the nights on. She was sure that her mama did not know. She had the radio screaming, turn way down low. Funny how many nights could come and go. Now she's all grown up, but she still likes to rock and roll. He was good in school, in fact he once almost made straight A's. A meek and gentle little fella, but you know the funny tricks that fate plays. When the music started playing, it seemed to open up all the gateways. He was sure she didn't notice him at the dance, and you know how he suffered till he finally took the chance. But the night was for the music and young romance. That was years ago, but he still likes to rock and roll. So rock and roll, Butch. Well, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm awkward and ungainly. I sit around and ponder and think until I worry insanely. I form uninformed opinions and I shout them out loud and vainly. Yes, I'm sure that I know more than anybody knows, and I got the cure for everybody's woes. I got it all figured out, but I don't guess it shows. Yes, I'm all grown up, but I still like to rock and roll. Yeah, we're all grown up, but we still like to rock and roll. Thank you all. Thank you, Dottie.
I know that you sung a couple of Clyde Buchanan songs, he's passed away now.
Right.
But you didn't really know him that well.
I met him about 2 or 3 times down in Austin, and my memory of him, I remember that, you know, Gary P. Nunn cut the Austin Picker song. It has, you know, lists all the players in it mentioned my name in it, Hubbard, you know, and so I can't remember where it was. I asked him, I said, well, you know, you mentioned all the Austin pickers, but I live in Dallas, you know, how come you do include me? And he said, well, you know, you should live in Austin, you know, and, you know, he said, you have the Austin idea, you know, that I was, you know, kind of had something to do with the Austin thing, so I felt real honored by that, you know. And he sent me a tape of some really good songs, and like I say, my situation is right now is I don't have, you know, I'm not on the label, so I haven't been able to record any, but like I say, I met him 2 or 3 times, and really admired the man.
The song probably got me where I am today, playing for $1. I didn't tell you doing that. I'll tell you what. About it, that was great. Okay, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do this. This is called Texas. Are y'all having a good time? Is there anybody tore up yet besides this area over here, the Peanut Gallery? Was there some VIP roped off area, or is that the people that they want to watch real carefully? Make sure that they walk out and try to sell bottles. This is called Texas is a State of Mind. Texas is a state of mind that I have been living in. You know, Dallas says a woman, she got cognac in her veins. Houston isn't all till Austin isn't no football field. Fort Worth, Scouttown, San Antonio's train. Down in Texas, baby, we embarrass the devil with a bell, jug tequila, and that big smell of grass. We got some soul savers, we got some hell raisers, good looking women, cowboys out there. Now, Texas is the state of mind that I have been living in. Dallas is the woman, she got cognac in her veins. Houston is an old deal, nothing is no football field. Fort Cowtown, San Antonio's the train. Texas is a real good place to live and to visit. We're down here with the grace of God and a little bit of luck. They said that Texas would fall off into the Gulf except for the fact that Oklahoma subsides. Texas is a state of mind that I haven't lived in. You know, Dallas is a woman, got cognac in her veins. Houston is an old deal, nothing is no football field. Fort Worth, Scouttown, San Antonio's train. It's getting faster. It all started about a month ago, baby, when they gave me this black Schecter. I'm a wild one among the wild ones, a rebel rouser if there ever was one. Turn on them headlights, everything's gonna be alright tonight. You can't keep up, honey, stay behind. I can't walk, I can't walk, I got to run on the wild side. I seen New York from penthouse view, I seen L.A. from the floor of a bar. I've done some time with them Austin rock and rollers. I seen Dallas from the backseat of a police car. I'm a wild one among the wild ones, a rebel rouser if there ever was one. Turn on them headlights, everything's gonna be alright tonight, baby. You can keep up, honey, stay behind. I can't walk, got to run on the wild side. road. We were Zokies on the road to California. We was rock and roll misfits, 250 outfit, let me warn ya. One on the sound, 4 on the floor, yeah, the brakes are bad, never stopped us before. Well, I'm a wild one among the wild ones, a rebel rouser if there ever was one. Turn on them old headlights, everything gonna be alright tonight, baby. You can't keep up, honey, stay behind. Can't walk, I can't walk, got to run on the wild side. Run on the wild side, running on the wild side. Run on the wild side, run on the wild side. Crazy Texas boys is roaring tonight. You can't keep up, honey, stay behind. I can't walk at the run on the wild side. Run on the wild side. Run on the wild side. Y'all.
The great thing about the Austin music scene, excuse me, I'm grabbing it, is, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Is one of the unique, nice things about it, and is that everybody, you know, really, you know, it's kind of like a, I hate to say brotherhood or family or whatever, but everybody knows everybody and everybody come and jam with each other. And I've done shows where I was supposed to open for somebody. I can't remember who it was. Either BW or Rusty Weir. I was the opening act. They were the headliner. And my bus broke down. So I called them and said, I'm going to be late. And so BW said, well, then I'll go on first. You can close the show, which, you know, there wasn't a lot of ego involved in it. You know, like I'm the headliner and I refused. I mean, it was kind of a camaraderie thing there, you know, for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, Townes Van Zandt.
Living on the road, my friend, was gonna keep you free and clean. Think, now you wear your skin like iron. Your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye. sink into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit boss. His horse was fast as polished steel. Wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the desert down in Mexico, and nobody heard his dying words. Oh, but that's the way it goes. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Well, Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Oh, there ain't nobody knows. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Tell how Pancho fell and Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, to save a few for Lefty too. He just did what he had to do. Oh, now he's growing old. Could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong out of kindness, I suppose. A few gray federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong out of kindness, I suppose. Thanks, y'all. Boy, that sounded good. Let's play the blues. Here's a song called the Gone Gone Blues that Mick and I wrote in Chicago a while back. You know she loved me all night long. deep. You know, little darling made a fool of me. Man, she's gone, gone, Illinois. Oh, let me tell you, boy, she's gone, gone. Well, little darling didn't mean me no harm. You know she loved me all night long. Now she's gone, gone. Little dog didn't mean me no. Oh, now she says she's gone, and I do believe she's gone. Thanks a lot, y'all. That was stone smooth pleasure, and the boys thank you too. I'm not sure who's going to be up next, but it's going to go until 2 o'clock, and Gary P's here, and Ray Wylie, and a whole bunch of good folks. So. See you later.
Take the other thing off. When you play it back, you have to put a thingy on it, and you have to take
You're
it off.
on air. You're on air.
I am. Okay, thanks.
Better than being on water.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Debbie Vogel, Frost and Pickers, and I have with me here Blaze Foley. We're going to be talking about Clyde, going over a little bit about some of the things you've done with him, some of the things you have done by him and stuff like that, and then we'll go on and we'll talk about what he's going to be doing and what he has just about done with his new album. First, let's go ahead and talk about Clyde, though. How long did you know him?
About 5 years, I think.
About
I don't know, it kind of gets, I knew his music before I knew him, but I knew him for about that long.
Is that why you wanted to meet him after a while? You knew his music so well?
We kind of just met by chance and were immediate, fast friends.
Do you do a lot of gigs with him or stuff?
I did that.
In Austin?
Hung around his house, drank Coors with him, smoked cigarettes.
An all-around good buddy, right?
Yeah, he was one of my heroes, the nicest guy I ever met.
Did he help you out in your career?
Sure, he helped me out spiritually, by his own spirit.
In the spirit of his songs and his music?
Yeah, and the way he was, his attitude toward other people. He was the nicest guy, you know.
Always trying to help
He
somebody?
was like a daddy to me. Yeah, he was like a daddy to a lot of us. If we could get a beer, I've got a trained hamster. No, he can't carry a six-pack. Oh. If anybody has any requests, let me know, because I've got dyslexia. Oval Room. Okay. Thanks, Janice. This is a song about Ronald Reagan and George Shultz and Caspar Weinberger and all those other comedians that are so dangerous. It's called Oval Room. In the key of the B minor, boys and girl.
in his rocking chair. He's a president, but I don't care. He's a businessman. He got business ties. He got dollar signs in both his eyes. Got a big airplane, take him everywhere. Got a limousine when he gets there. Everywhere he goes, makes the people mad, make the poor man pay, and rich man glad. Play it, Don Ray on the piano. Can you give me some piano and get it, Donnie. At the factory, never been so slow. Got a big boat down, 99 to go. And down on the farm, nothing growing there but the days they owe and their gray hair. In the desert sand and the jungle deep, he thinks everything is his to keep. He's a real cowboy with his makeup on, talks to kings and queens on the telephone. Everybody, oh, but I don't care. He's the president, but I don't care. He's a movie star. If you stay up late, and he'll search your car if you don't look straight. In his oval room, in his rocking chair, he's a president, but I don't care. Ooh, but I don't care. He's the president, but I don't care. Thanks, that's called Oval Room. Does it sound all right out there? Does it sound better than Bobby Goldsboro? Okay, we're going to do, I guess we got time for one more, huh? See, I don't know. I never was able to tell time. I didn't even get out of high school. But I do know one thing. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't tie his shoes. Boy, that went over like, I can't say that either. Keep forgetting. But where's that beer I gave you a sip of? It's not that I drink, it's just that I like to. I mean, not that I have to, it's just that I like to. Shall I leave the label away from the camera? Yes. It's called Girl Scout Cookies. It's a song I wrote when I was about 9 years old. I was in Lester Roloff School for Abandoned Girls. They didn't know it, but I was there.
No, it's just, no, it's not like that at all. Key of D, key of D. Anyway. Girl Scout cookies taste so good, just like Girl Scouts said they would. Peanut butter and chocolate chips, gobble, gobble, gobble and smack your lips. Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Save my money, gonna buy me some. All my girlfriends all wear green, sell them all, they mean to me. Sell them cookies door to door, sell them all and then some more. Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Save my money, gonna buy me some. Play it, Elliot. Remember when I was a boy, pulling around my tractor toy, saw a girl all dressed in green, prettiest girl I ever seen. Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Save my money, gonna buy me some. Girl Scout walked up to me one day, told me she had lost her way. And at the time I was feeling good, showed around my neighborhood. She said she gonna give me some Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Somebody play it on the piano. Play it, Donnie. You and Larry split one. All my girlfriends all wear green, sell them all, they mean to me. Sell them cookies door to door, sell them all and then some more. Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Save my money, gonna buy me some. Girl Scout cookies taste so good, just like Girl Scouts said they would. Peanut butter and chocolate chips, gobble, gobble, gobble and smack your lips. Girl Scout cookies, yum, yum, yum. Save my money, gonna buy me some. Gonna buy me some. Gonna buy me some. Gonna buy me some. Gonna buy me some.
You know everybody here tonight, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Except some of the people in the audience.
But all the performers you played with, just like interchangeable parts.
You know, some of them are closer to me than others. That kind of thing. But, you know, the way that is, you can't be around everybody all the time.
Do you use any of them on your new album?
I know that was all studio musicians.
Oh.
But next album I will.
Once you get established, you'll be able to use more of the Austin sound.
I'll be able to raise my hand and, oh, well, could we do this? You know, I hope. Yeah.
You want that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
doesn't everybody?
If I deserve it. If I don't, I won't get it.
That's true. Well, that's a good way to live life. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It was nice meeting all y'all. And I'd like to thank you, Clyde, because I know you're out there. And Dottie.
Everybody having a good time out there tonight? All right. Rock and roll. I've been minding my P's and neglecting my Q's, staying out late with the same old blues. Yeah, my paper's still reading the same old news. Still moving slow in these so-wearing shoes, but I've been walking so long. Still moving slow, y'all. Texas sun shining down on me when along came a turtle with his wife to be. He gave me a ride in their Model T. I've been walking so long, still moving slow, y'all. Taking a bath at the Copeland Tavern in a cocktail glass. You could tell by his style he had lots of class. Smoking big cigars, fixing to pass. I've been walking so long, still moving slow, y'all. Taking a bath at the Copeland Tavern in a cocktail glass. Well, I thought maybe Waco was the places to be. Copeland Tavern looked good to me. I've been walking so long. Just stop.
Yeah. All right.
Thank y'all very much. We're through now.
We're all done now.
We're through. We sure do thank y'all for the hospitality of your applause and being here today. God bless Clyde Buchanan.
We used to go out to the house quite often, and of course we swapped a lot of songs, you know, between each other and everything. And there were some of our songs that he just really, really liked, and so we thought that we'd play 4 or 5 today that were among his favorites.
So you played Clyde's favorites for a last time for him, just for him?
Well, yeah, we just thought that we'd like just, you know, make one final statement for the record. And one of them we're going to be doing today is one of them that we did at the funeral that was probably his favorite that we do. It's a song called Special Place.
What's it about?
Well, the main theme is that there's a special place for you inside my heart. Mm-hmm. And I think that basically sums up what Clyde Buchanan was all about, was that he was a very loving, sensitive, gentle man, one of the most perceptive and yet tactful beings I've ever known in my life. Everybody should have at least one friend who's as genuine a person as Clyde Buchanan was and is on whatever spirit level he's at right now, because he's one of the most amazing, warm, wonderful people I ever had the privilege of knowing. I've met thousands and thousands of people in the various functions I've done in this life, and Clyde's one of the most wonderful people I've ever known. I met him when I was producing a festival in Austin a few years back. That was when I first met he and Dottie, and he just really impressed me with his open-mindedness, his sincerity, his generosity, his open-heartedness. And I mean, it was just an instant friendship, because I really believe that genuine people are among the rarest treasures a being can have as friends.
again, I was promoting all different kinds of music at these festivals, reggae and blues and jazz and rock and roll and country and folk. And when Clyde heard about it, he called up, he said he wanted to do something for us, and without even a hesitation, I knew it was going to be a good connection. And when we met, it was just one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had as far as an initial meeting with somebody. I got a good feeling all the way through it. I got to know the man extremely well. He was one of my best friends, and I think the world is much poorer for his absence.
We've so little time together, and so soon we must be gone. While there's breath in this body, we'll have time for one more song. And I surely love to be here, but we really have to go. Like a clear running river, I must flow. Well, my darling, how I love you, how I long to hold you near, to feel your love cut through all this selfishness and fear. And I love you more than ever, even though we may have to part. And there's a special place for you inside my heart. Well, believe me, I can understand how lonely it can be when you're stranded in the darkness and you just can't find the key. 'Cause you know that there's a purpose for this thing they call the soul. It's time to put the horse before the cart. And like a cool clear breeze I'm blowing through this dry and dusty land, reaching out to my brothers and sisters, won't you please lend me your hand? No, it's not too late for trying, it's not too late to make a start. And there's a special place for you inside my heart.
His music is among a classic tradition that, of course, is found in Austin, where we've got plenty of classic musicians, Gary P. Nunn and Townes Van Zandt, and many, many others that just, I mean, too many to mention. But Clyde's music was absolutely unique, absolutely in a classic tradition of his own. And I told him a long time ago that in all probability, the legend of Clyde Buchanan and his music would skyrocket. But probably only after he was gone. He just laughed and agreed with me, and sure enough, it seems to be happening exactly that way. That I mean, he's known all over this country. I imagine that his legend and his star will continue to rise from now on, because he was really a truly unique creative genius, a wonderful man, a talented songwriter, and one of my best friends.
People are just trying to get to know him now that he's gone.
And it's a shame that they can't. I mean, this is a man who gave you a straight answer. And there's so few people in this world that seem to be that genuine that they'll speak their piece, but he always tried to do it in a gentle way, where he wasn't offensive, he wasn't clubbing somebody over the head with his point of view, but he also wasn't willing to compromise when it came to principles. He was a man of principles, a man of very deep insight, probably deeper insight than most people suspect, because he was, I mean, here was this basically good old boy, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, playing country music, and yet he was one of the wisest musicians I've ever known in my life.
Well, I'm glad everybody's starting to get to know him now through his music.
Well, I'm really, really glad that so many of his friends turned out both to play his songs, people like Gary P. Nunn and Ricky Cardwell, some of us who do mostly our own material, like Butch Hancock and Jimmy Gilmore and ourselves and a lot of others, Townes. We're just here to, you might say, pay tribute to one of the most wonderful people that any of us have ever known, could ever know, or probably will ever know. He's just a wonderful man.
Really, what I would like to say about Clyde is that, you know, starting back in about 1965, he and I were picking together at his home and at my home, and he decided at that point that music was going to be his life. You know, he wanted to write and promote his music, and he made a promise that Austin would know who Clyde Buchanan was before he was finished, and I think he's made quite an impact on Austin in doing that. We co-wrote a song to kick off his songwriting career, so to speak.
What was that?
It's one called Lonesome, and I'll be doing it tonight.
Good.
And I think it's a real good song, and he has written hundreds of songs in the past few years. I think the last couple of years he's really done his best work.
I think maybe because he knew he was going to die, that maybe he gave that extra effort.
Well, possibly because he did know. You know, there was no question about it, and he really wanted to get everything in that he could.
I know that's probably hard to live with somebody.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, and I think he did exceptionally well in the circumstances, you know, knowing what was coming.
He went on with his music just like everything was fine.
Didn't let up. He really got down to the point where, you know, his health was going fast and he would get tired very easily, but he kept on trying. He would get up and perform even when he knew he really shouldn't, you know, and didn't feel, you know, up to it, but he gave it everything he had.
We are the Buchanan brothers. We're here for a special occasion tonight, that being that Clyde Buchanan was our oldest brother, passed on recently, and this is dedicated to him. We're doing some of his original material tonight. That's really the only reason we're here, is to do this thing and promote his music. A dollar doesn't go too far, but I tell you what, the dedication of music to him goes further than any money could buy. We'd like to do... Thank you. He was a great man. He opened himself to any musician that came along, gave him all the help and support that he possibly could. No one that I know ever was turned away that needed help in, you know, promoting music in any way. He opened his doors, allowed everybody into his home, welcomed them, had a big heart. Amen. He gave the last 18 years or so of his life was really strongly dedicated to country music. He promised me back in 1965, he and I sat down and started working on a song. It was the first attempt that he'd ever made at writing a song, and I've had the pleasure of co-authoring the song with him. He promised me that the people of Austin and the music scene would know who Clyde Buchanan was, and I think that was accomplished. Thank you. I really would have liked to have seen him go further and be able to see the fruits of his efforts. Unfortunately, that was cut short, but we can continue on, we can promote his music and do the things that he can't do. Right now, the first tune we're going to do to open the show will be one of his, and I'd like for everyone to bear with us because we did have a short time to rehearse this. It is, as I said, original to us, and we'll do the best we can. It's one called Riding High on the Rimrock.
1, 2, 3.
Live by the gun, always on the run, wondering who will shoot me in the back. The sun is coming down, I'm sleeping on the ground, with one eye open and a 6-gun in my hand. I'm riding high upon the rimrock, running for my life against the wind. My past lies somewhere behind me, and I wonder where tomorrow will end. Robbed the Dallas bank, killed a man I think. Just living by my wit, as far as I can get, spending all my time just trying to be free. And I'm riding high upon the rimrock, sun riding high burns all the troubles from my mind. Drifting with the wind, forgetting where I've been, looking for a refuge that I'll never find. I'm riding high on the rim rock, running for my life against the wind. My past lies somewhere behind me, and I wonder when tomorrow begins. Never had a home, always on the roam, haunted by the shadows in my mind. The canyons call to me, up here I can be free, like an eagle soaring yonder above the timberline. I'm riding high upon the rim rock, running for my life against the wind. My past lies somewhere behind me, and I wonder when tomorrow will end. Riding in the dark, the bullet finds its mark. I can hear the rangers riding fast, their hoofbeats coming near. My vision's not too clear. A long ride in the saddle has finally been my last. And I'm riding high upon the rim rock, running for my life against the wind. My past lies somewhere behind me, and I wonder where tomorrow begins.
Well, Clyde and I grew up in back in East Tennessee in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, and had lots of fun. He wrote a lot of his songs about his childhood days, and I'll try to do a couple of those later on stage. And just that he was really into his music, and I think his last year was his best. He really worked hard at it, and well, what can you say?
You were with him through most of that, weren't you?
Yeah, right. He spent quite a few years of his younger life up in Michigan and around, working as a machinist and that sort of thing. And once he came to Austin, he got into the music scene and decided that's what he wanted to do, and he went from there. And like I say, I think his last year was probably his best. He had some really good tunes.
Did he get you into music, or did you get in?
No, I'm into bluegrass music, and Clyde marched to a different drummer than most of the rest of us, and now that he's gone, we're trying to pick up some of his stuff. It was hard for me to play with him as such, because his rhythms were so much different and all. But how that happened, I don't know. We both grew up back in the hills with the old bluegrass music, and with me it stuck, and that's what I do. And so we, in the music thing, we weren't really close, but we were in other things. We fished together and that sort of thing, you know. And so that's about all I can say, I guess. He he had a memory like an elephant. That might be something to quote. He remembered everything that happened to us in the old childhood days, and wrote a lot of songs about that sort of thing. So.
All right, y'all, before we go any further, we got somebody here we need to introduce. We've had a host of ceremonies all day long. A few months ago, when we started this Odyssey of Austin Pickers, which is on TV 46 KNCT every other Saturday night. The first interview we did was with Gary P. Nunn, and he introduced us to someone who became very important in our lives, Clyde Buchanan. And that's the reason we're here tonight. Today is Clyde's birthday. Clyde would have been 53 years old today. I want to introduce you to someone who's become very important in our lives, who's going to introduce one of the best friends of Austin Pickers. Let's give a big round of applause for Clyde Buchanan.
Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Gary P. Nunn, the one musician in Austin, the publisher who believed in my husband, Clyde. Gary P. Nunn.
Thank you very much, Dottie. It's a real pleasure for me to be here and to participate in this memorial for Clyde. I do use a song that got me started, the first song that he ever sang for me, one called Austin Pickers. I'm a Clyde child at old Woodstock to an Austin Picker doing a redneck rock. I'm doing it now to contemporary beat while I laid back Austin and stomped their feet. I got a long star hat and real long hair. They don't like me in Nashville, but I don't care. Picking and a grinning and a swapping songs, just a good old boy trying to get along. There's me and Wylie and Jerry, Jeff, and Mike Murphy, Hubbard, and all the rest. Rusty Weir's just doing his thing. Come on, everybody wants to help me sing. Greasy wheels keep a rolling long, Kenneth Threadgill's up there yodeling strong, keeping Jimmy Rogers' songs alive. Hal's fiddle draws people like a bees to a hive. There's Bill and Bonnie in asleep at the wheel, and Herbert Steiner on the pedal steel. Townsend Miller making nightly rounds, telling all the pickers what's coming down. What's coming down, Herbert Steiner? Junior Brown. All the other pickers, don't you be inflamed if you didn't happen to hear your name. Our DJ friends got to do their job, so 2.5 minutes is all I've got. There's me and Wylie and Jerry, Jeff, and Mike Murphy, Hubbard, and all the rest. Rusty Weir's just doing his thing. Everybody let me hear you sing. There's me and Wylie and Jerry, Jeff, and Mike Murphy, Hubbard, and all the rest. Rusty Weir's just doing his thing. Come on, everybody, let me hear you sing. Come on, everybody wants to hear me sing. Come on, everybody, let me hear you sing. I want to do a song that Clyde wrote. Now, Clyde said that he went to Nashville with this song, and they said, what we want is another Behind Closed Doors, which was a big hit at that time. So Clyde wrote this song as a response to that. There's just tonight, there's no tomorrow. Here in your arms, I lose my sorrow. Live for the moment, as moments live and die. We have till sunup before we say goodbye. There's just tonight, our only night together. There's just tonight to know each other better. I must go with the dawn when you away. I'll be gone. So love me once more, 'cause for us there's just tonight. There's just tonight. And it will have to be. The present and the future for you and me. We're just two ships slowly passing in the night. There's no tomorrow for us, there's just tonight. There's just tonight, our only night together. There's just tonight to know each other better. I must go with the dawn when you awake. I'll be gone. So love me once more, 'cause for us there's just tonight. Just tonight, our only night together.
Production costs for Austin Pickers were provided in part through grants from the Loden Chute of Temple and Mike Kilpatrick Pontiac Buick of Killeen.